If I am crazy, it is for God's sake. If I am in of my right mind, it is for your sake. I grew up with my grandma, and she was 87 years old when she passed. We did not grow up in the church. No matter how many times she wanted to believe we did, we didn't. And when I became a Christian and tried to tell her truth, she had her own ways and her own truth. Well, truth be told, she died in 2019 of May, right before the pandemic had hit. And I watched her take her last breath. And she claimed she was a Christian. This is why it's laid heavy upon me to tell you about this. But her last breath, God confirmed with me that she is in hell. And no matter what my family says, they don't want to believe in. I didn't want to believe it either. And I'm not lying. Her last words was, she was holding her hand out and she's screaming at the demon, whoever is about to torment her, "Take me higher! Take me higher!" But I mean, she's screaming at this thing. And you know, if you're going home to Jesus, you're definitely not screaming. And I didn't want to believe that it was hell. Honestly, it took me a long time to register that it was hell, because I still had hope, you know. When we're alive here, we have hope. There is no hope when we die. Our hope is here. Our hope should be in Jesus, which means that he would be Lord of our life, not just someone we talk about here and there. But my moral of the story is, I didn't realize I was mad at God, because I knew spiritually that she was in hell, but my mind did not want to believe it. Neither did my heart. But the heart is evil and wicked beyond all cure. Who can understand it? And so, as I'm trying not to be mad at God, God gave me a dream where he showed me I was mad at him. He did. He took me into a valley in the mountains. And I was sitting at a vanity with a mirror, just sitting in the middle of the mountains. And inside the vanity in the mirror, I'm sitting there looking at my reflection, yelling, saying, "All you said is we have to believe. You just said we have to believe. All you said was we had to believe." I was mad at God. I was mad because she said she believed. But I knew spiritually, this is the beginning of my walk, by the way. It wasn't like it was something that was overnight or whatever. And, so it wasn't something that was done overnight. And I did not know that I was so mad at God until he gave me that dream. I had to repent and apologize, because it's not his fault that she went to hell. It was her own fault. And it's very sad, because if you know anything about the Bible, as I got older, I would consider her my Jonathan, just because she was always there for me when nobody else was, except God. But he placed her in my life. And he gave her every opportunity to come to him, but she didn't. And she really did go to hell. And I just pray now for mercy on her soul. Same as my uncle, he went to hell too, unless he repented in that last 2 minutes, but he said the Bible was a fairy tale. That was his last encounter I had with him, who died in his homosexuality. And it's very sad. But I had to get this message out there, because how many people do we want to say believe, but their actions and their mouths, and they don't do anything that glorifies God. They don't spend any time with him. Their time is in everything else. Even some people in the church. Other times in the church, but not with God. And so I watched my grandma, who raised us, who I loved dearly in the end. She went to hell. And she thought she was going to heaven. And it bothers me that I was mad at God but it's not God's fault. It's our own fault, our own actions, and you have been warned throughout your entire life. How many times have you been warned? But you don't listen. Nobody listens. They just say it sounds good. And so then we get mad at God when it is at our final call. And it's not God's fault. I am thankful He revealed that to me, even though I knew I was, but I didn't want to admit it. We must admit when we're doing something and sinning. We must admit to it and repent and ask God to help us to get over it. Because our ways are not His ways, and His ways are definitely not ours. But I'm praying for you guys out there. Have a blessed one and a God-fearing one.